From one wacky musician to another, rapper Cardi B outraged over inflation, and rightly so. She's also mad about home prices and energy. Watch.
How are people surviving? I want to know. Like my family and my friends, they're so grateful to have me. But it's just like, yo, what happened to people that don't have a me? What's going on with the people that don't have a me? Not just rest that like Britain and LA, they're going to start having more blackouts because Britain got to pay double the price when it comes to electricity. And LA is I knew that this was going to happen. I knew we was going to have a financial crisis.
She did. She called the recession back in 2020. Real talk. If you want to learn about the economy, ask a former stripper. Does Cardi have a point? I think she's got several good ones. Let's get into it with tonight's party panel. We've got New York Post columnist and Spectator contributor Carol Markowitz is back. We've got Democrat strategist, radio host, and Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall in the house. I wore a very similar dress last night, Leslie. I love it. And Georgia Libertarian gubernatorial candidate and host of the Radical podcast. It is Shane Hazel, one of the only semi-politicians that is acceptable on the showroom. Great to see you too, Shane. Thank you so much. So, Carol, I think that she's got some good points. And Cardi B has in the past, when she first started making money, she's like, they're taking all this money in taxes, but there's still potholes everywhere. Is she a natural libertarian?
Yeah, so Cardi is, of course, right, but she has previously been a supporter of Bernie Sanders, and she has to understand that the policies that he supports lead directly to this kind of inflation. You can't have those diamonds in the Rari when you're paying student loans of doctors and lawyers, Cardi. But look, I have long said that rappers are natural conservative libertarians. They want freedom. They want to hand over half their check to, they want freedom. They don't want to hand over half their check to pay for nonsense. And they have a healthy distrust of authority. So welcome, Cardi. We're happy to have you. And my claim to fame is that I called she was going to be famous the first time I ever saw her years and years and years ago.
I did the same thing with Ariana Grande on Cat and Sam, or Sam and Cat, whatever the hell that show was that my daughters used to watch. And I was like, Ariana Grande
Mine was
is a really
Love and Hip Hop, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like we really should be signing acts, you and I, Carol, go on the road. So
we really should.
Leslie, has the Democrat Party abandoned Cardi B, and are Cardi-nomics the wave of the future?
I discovered Bruno Mars when he was singing Happy Birthday to his grandmother at the Sheraton in Waikiki years ago, so I'll go in on with the three-way for the record signing.
You had a three-way with Bruno Mars and his grandma?
No.
Leslie, you just got like 75% hotter. Pictures of your lying.
I was gonna... Hey, the ratings just shot up right now. Yeah. Or I'm getting fired, one or the other. No, in all seriousness, I don't think the Democrats are abandoning Cardi B. I think Republicans are embracing her. Even Republicans who didn't know who she was until she went on this rant. Because it amuses me, whether the Democrats do it or the Republicans do it, when there is a rapper or a rock star, an athlete who comes out and starts talking about things they like or against the party that they don't like, especially when there's a midterm election, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I love Cardi B. Like Lindsey Graham will be dropping Cardi B in his next decreasing weeks for abortion bans throughout the country when he proposes that. So, look, I think certainly there are people suffering in the United States now. Yeah. There are people that were suffering during the pandemic, and there were people that were suffering before the pandemic. What bothers me, and Kennedy, you live out here sometimes, in LA especially, we have so many celebrities who are so wealthy, and to me, words are great, action is better. I'm glad she's helping her family. Maybe she could help a few more people.
I think she's helping people by not swallowing the orthodoxy, Shane. It's like, yes, people do embrace that when someone has a little bit of independent thought, because she is going up against groupthink and questioning it. And it's like that is at least a good place to start.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. If you're going to stand against the machine, you're going to stand against the state, and you're going to be outraged because they're taking more and more and more of your money, and they're taking more and more of your kids' money and their kids' money and spending us through quantitative easing into oblivion. You should be irate. Absolutely. The thing is we should be looking at nullification and decentralization. And I'll say decentralization 3 times fast as I could, but I can't, so I won't say it 3 times fast. What we should be looking at also is the ability of these people to actually get out and really do something, right? Like we're talking about.
Oh, we lost Shane. Oh, the
No,
aliens got. Oh, there he's back. And there's Cardi B, who's
still
not Shane
here.
Hazel, but they're going to be friends for life.
This is not going to be solved by Democrats or Republicans. This is going to be solved by sound money, which they are going to try to go to CBDCs very soon as a quantitative ease us into oblivion. Or you have a choice, and you can get into things like lead and gold and Bitcoin after you've got all the essentials taken care of. Yeah. I'm going to say it every time. You know I am.
Well, I love Bitcoin and I love gold. I even like a little bit of Ethereum. I rub it on my skin when it's emulsified. Party panel, don't go anywhere. Lots more show. The tracking never ends. This time it's legal gun purchases, but it's not just the government doing it. Now it's your credit card company. Amex, MasterCard, Visa reportedly taking steps to keep tabs on firearm sales and purchases. They're said to be doing it in light of recent mass shootings and other gun-related violence. The NRA claims it's actually setting up a gun registry of owners that the government could one day exploit. The card companies say they'll respect your privacy. Wink. But could this open the door not only to track law-abiding citizens, but also other legal transactions? The party panel is back. Carol Markowitz, Leslie Marshall, and Shane Hazel. What can go wrong here, Carol?
This is ridiculous, and a lot of conservatives will rightly say that we need a parallel economy because of stuff like this. They keep going too far, and they're really pushing people to the fringe where we're gonna need to form our own, credit card companies or banks and the rest of it. Guns are legal and protected by the Second Amendment. There's no reason they should be categorized separately. And anyone celebrating this has to realize that something like legal marijuana or alcohol or, hey, abortions could be next.
They could be next, Leslie. And when the party you don't like is in charge, they will use this logic to come after the stuff that you hold sacred.
They're already doing it, and this hasn't gone into law. So I'm not going to live that way. And I think this is actually helpful for law enforcement. I think when we have the number of mass shootings that we do, it's unprecedented in this country compared to the rest of the nations in the world. Something has to be done. And I also think that we're pretty ignorant if we don't think it's kind of already being done. I know the other day I was looking at a pair of jeans online. Within 10 minutes, I get all these different stores sending me things about jeans. Now, I know that's
because
not
you
the
didn't
government,
reject cookies on your website.
Right, but these are private companies. Everybody knows pretty much everything we do. I'm not worried because I'm not doing anything wrong.
Is that a good mentality, Shane? I'm not doing anything wrong, so you can go ahead, government, and do whatever you want to me because I don't have anything to worry about.
It's like saying, I don't have anything to say, so I don't care about free speech. The biggest mass murderer in the world is, and has always been, the government. Yes, it is. And it's absolutely true. They've killed almost 200 million people in the last century alone. If there's anybody who should be disarmed, it's the government. And it's time to start going on offense about this. The other side of this is where we get to look at what I mentioned earlier, Bitcoin, a parallel economy that doesn't allow anybody to stop your transaction. So if you want to buy a ghost gun with Bitcoin, good luck, ATF, which should be abolished like the rest of those guys. We have a moral imperative at this point to go out and take a stand against this. The credit card companies are not going to do it. The government's obviously not going to do it. The banks are going to come after your bank accounts when they go to CBDCs. So you better start thinking about the exit points now because this is happening, and they are also tracking your data with iPhones and Androids and everything else that's Meta. All of those things that you do in a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, which is coming your way, that's going to be manipulated against you and the people who you're around and the people that you frequent in terms of business. So get ready, strap in, because this quantitative easing to infinity is coming hard and fast. And I'll make a prediction, Kennedy. When this all goes really, really south and the dollar as reserve currency is locked, I guess, taken on by the media, what they're going to say is the U.S. was extremely not cautious enough with the reserve currency. We're going to move the CBDC to the World Economic Forum's IMF, and now it's going to be controlled by Klaus Schwab and the gang over in Europe. Watch.
No mercy. But I think, Carol, you bring up the best point, which is, it's like if the point is to save lives, then conservatives will say, well, there's so many cirrhotic livers. We have to save people from alcohol. We have to track how much alcohol people are buying. We have to really keep track of birth control and, the morning after pill,
right,
and see who's buying that and keep tabs on it, because we have to save lives. And once you use that sanctimonious umbrella, let the morality reign on your parade and your civil liberties.
That's absolutely right. For the children can be used for any number of things. And I bet that conservatives will find a way to use that when getting credit card companies to segregate those purchases. And, this is where we're heading. And it's really unfortunate. These businesses just stay out of people's private lives. This is a legal purchase. It's not like they're buying it, on the street corner with their credit card. It has to be treated the same way that any other purchase is treated.
Infrastructure is child care. All right. Meanwhile, President Biden telling everyone that he plans to run for re-election in 2024 when he'll be 84 years old when he's sworn in again. But he hasn't told his wife. Listen to what the First Lady said on the Today Show when she was asked if the president was in fact running again. She's lying. Has the president really been keeping too busy to discuss his political future with his spouse? Leslie, do you buy that load of malarkey?
I think it's a very diplomatic way to say none of your blankety blank business.
It is our business. He's the president,
think about
and he's
the
old.
hours these people
it's very much our business.
What they discuss in their private marriage, in the private quarters, in their private bedroom,
running for president is very public.
Not our business.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely our business.
So if they're
president who's lost control of his
their
mental
children,
faculties,
we need to know about that. They're discussing their grandchildren.
Yeah,
I don't agree.
Grandchildren and running for president at 83, being sworn in when you're 84, that's our business, isn't it, Shane?
I'm pretty sure whoever the president of the United States is definitely, I guess, our business. I don't think you have much to worry about if he campaigned like he did last time from his basement. It's going to be a lot of low energy. She's going to have to remind him, but I think they're more on a day-to-day schedule. I don't think Joe's going to be running. I mean, it's hard enough to watch the guy now, unless it's all an act, and maybe it is. I think people need to start considering that there's no accidents anymore. What we're seeing in the economy with Joe Biden, this is demoralization of a population. It is part of our psychological operations when we go and invade other countries. So if this is, Joe Biden acting when he's on stage and then he gets off stage and he's like, how'd it go? Did we sell it pretty good? Did I wander around, touch the flag, and shake hands with nobody? Like, the guy may be totally competent and playing in an act.
Yeah, Kaiser Sose. I think that's quite a phenomenal thesis there, Carol, but I don't have that much faith in him. Leslie sounds pretty excited when she says that he's going to run again. 67% of the country, they don't want Biden or Trump to run again, and I have to agree with that.
So look, I get it. It's hard to bring up bad news to Grandpa, and it doesn't help that they probably have discussed the campaign, but Joe doesn't really remember. But I have to, in my rare agreement with Leslie, I think he does run again. I don't think that there's anybody else on the Democratic side that's even possible. Who? Kamala? Or are they going to move Kamala over and get somebody else in? It isn't feasible. We have to remember that the last election, they had to clear the field to get this guy to run. I don't see who else they have. I agree that a basement campaign worked in 2020 and is probably not going to work again, but I just can't find who the other Democrat candidate is going to be. It could only be Kamala Harris, and she is a non-starter.
She is a non-starter. So who you got, Leslie? You going to run?
Absolutely not.
Who's your dream Democrat?
So
like, truly, who is your dream Democrat? And dream big here. No judgment.
Well, you hate everybody that I like. So whoever I say, you're just gonna,
as long as it's not
so.
Hillary, Joe, Kamala, Gavin, anyone from the state of California or a pinko. Go ahead, take your best shot.
Well, I live in California, so I'd be from the state of California if I ran, but I certainly won't be running. I do like Gavin Newsom. I know you hate him, and he's from California, so there you go. He was on your list of people not to mention. I just did.
He's awful, though. I mean, Leslie, you're a smart woman. I know this. I've known you for a long time. I know you are a smart, rational, compassionate, empathetic person. And someone with all of those gifts would never throw their hat in Gavin Newsom's ring.
So everybody in the state of California who voted him for governor and voted against the recall and to have him keep being governor in this state, we're all, you know, smart and compassionate, but can't do that. I did it,
there are a bunch
so
of
did
dingbats in
thousands of
California.
others.
Lots of dingbats in California.
Okay. Now I'm a dingbat. Got
No,
it.
I didn't
Yeah.
say you're a dingbat. You asked me about the other people who made some bad choices. They're dingbats. The people who voted for him for AG and mayor of San Francisco and all the other nonsense, dingbats. Look what has happened to San Francisco. Is that a shining city on a hill? No, it is a feces-covered hellhole that used to be phenomenal. You're all phenomenal. Carol, Leslie, Shane, thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Thank you.
Good seeing you, Kennedy.
Yes.